Good morning, everybody. Welcome. I just noticed that it's funny. I stream at this time. I started streaming at this time because I used to just. I was the only one who streamed at this time. Everyone, this morning slot was just kind of a time that nobody else did, and we used to back up against blind press, and because she'd come on right after I was done, and nobody used to stream at that time. Now I get Crowder, I get Monkey sometimes. Although Monkey, I don't care. He streams when he can, which is I'm cool with that. But it's weird. I'm used to having people here when I start, and am I spoiled? A little bit, maybe. But I am spoiled because I have such a great audience, and you guys come all the time, and I'm very appreciative of you. So, good morning. It's one of those days where I found so many news items, and I couldn't really think of what to call the stream because there was a couple breaking items that I wanted to tell you about. And so we'll get to those. We'll get into the news, and hopefully everything you hear from me is something you're hearing first, and we'll have a good time as always. So welcome. I'm about to play the intro. Like now. Now. Play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight. Stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live on Friday. Everyone loves Friday, right? It's Friday, the 26th of February, 2021. I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet, and welcome back to the PDawgKnight channel. Got my cup of reparations right there. I am ready for the show, and in fact, yeah, that's some good stuff. I am, like I said, there's all kinds of breaking news going on. Obviously, the big news from yesterday is that we're dropping bombs again in Syria. Now, that whole situation is interesting just because I don't know what's going to become of it. Is this just going to be a retaliatory thing, or are we going to go? Are we going to get into another one again? I'm not even confident that the commander in chief is the one who necessarily felt this was necessary, but we'll find out. Hopefully, this is just one of those quick and in and out. I guess my concern is, I think there's a lot of Russians in Syria, and if we just accidentally knock out a Russian guy, is that going to start a bigger conflict? And also the fact that remember we talked yesterday, how they're talking about removing the power of the nuclear football from the sole proprietary use of the president of the United States. And it's just, I mean, how many days has he been in office? Has it even been 30 days yet? Almost 70 executive orders. We're dropping bombs again. And Joe Biden tweets out, America is back, baby. It's back. I just gotta go. What the hell is happening? Oh, anyway, let's see. Thank you, Javanus Midehouse. First sponsor of the day, and Javanus.
You are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
Thank you very much. First sponsor of the show this morning, who says, it's Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend. I wish is that what's her name? Something Black, Rebecca Black. Is that her song? I don't know that song that very well, but it is Friday, and thank you for being our first sponsor this morning. If you'd like to sponsor the show, you can do that through the YouTube Super Chats or the Streamlabs link, which is in the description down below. Or also, it says right there on the screen, this show is sponsored by viewers like you. Support the show with your donations and have your Super Chats read live on the show. So thank you for being the first sponsor today. But also, there's a lot of people here who I am happy to see. So let's say good morning to everybody before I get too deep into the news. First in the chat today was our friend Thomas Cleaver, who gets the bell. And thank you for being here, sir. Good morning. Also, good morning to Hig, and hopefully Sydney's in the background back there too, in their new home down in Florida. Good morning, CNN Sucks, the most redundant name on the internet. Good morning, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Who says wipe people of the world unite. Make sure you hear the P, wipe people. Also, good morning, Select a Boy.
Yeah, boy.
Fox P2, good morning, Mike Savage, Blarg, Cultist 4, good morning. Let's see, scroll down, Somnambul Nation, good morning. Let's see, MC's in the house.
Hammer time.
Also, Uncle Bad Touch. Man, I got all the sound effect people are here first today. Also, good morning, Advocatus Diablo, the Devil's Advocate, Jonathan Peterson, not to be confused with Jonas Peterson. Also, good morning, D.I. Freighter Watcher. Nice to see you. Good Friday morning, everybody. Nice to see you back. Also, Justin Anderson. Good morning, Zablé. I'm going to start saying Zablé because that sounds better. Zablé. That sounds good. Anyway, also, good morning, Lamented Guide. Nice to have you back. Good morning, Anna Lynn. Good morning, Katie Did Skate is in the house. As I scroll, Gunfox61, our trusty Dusty, I shouldn't say Dusty, but our trusty administrator of the Discord server and all-around news hound. Also, good morning to Cynical Lindsay. And is that everybody so far? That looks like it's everybody. So, Aaron Meredith's here too. Good morning, Aaron. How you doing? All right. So 24 in the room so far. If you like what we do during the show, hit that like button. I know a lot of people over at Monkey Show too. That's why it's not quite up there yet, but we'll grow. We'll be good. And if you like what we do, hit the like button and also share the stream out. I didn't even see. Has anyone shared the stream yet? I haven't looked yet. My notifications are there. Thank you, Cynical Lindsay, of course. And also, thank you. Oh, that's from yesterday. So, Cynical Lindsay, thank you for tweeting out the show. Please share the stream. You know what I mean? Share the stream. It's because, if you like what we do, I'm sure someone else will like it too. So there you go. All right. So, breaking news, a couple things. We're in Syria. Somehow, I'm not sure what the deal is. Where's my, come on, Explore tab, work there. Let's see. It was number 2. There it is. So the United States has conducted an airstrike against infrastructure utilized by Iranian-backed militant groups in eastern Syria. The Pentagon confirmed on Thursday. A report by AFP citing Syrian Observatory for Human Rights says 17 people, pro-Iran fighters, were killed in the attack. The airstrike was carried out in response to recent attacks against U.S. targets in Iraq. MSNBC has a thread here too. Breaking, let's see. Marking the first response from the Biden administration after a series of rocket attacks on U.S. targets in Iraq. Apparently, they were talking. Well, let's see what everybody's favorite news person, Joy Reid, is saying about this. I'm very curious because it was funny. I'm reading some tweets of some people earlier this morning talking about how it's refreshing that, when this is happening now that oh my gosh, that there's not a lot of bluster and bravado, just quiet. It's almost quiet Yes, the quiet bomb strikes. Okay, let's see what possibly the dumbest newscaster on cable TV has to say here.
Just want to let everyone know that tonight, at President Biden's direction, U.S. military forces earlier this evening conducted airstrikes against infrastructure utilized by Iranian-backed militant
against infrastructure. Okay, they weren't trying to kill anybody. Okay, there's airstrike against infrastructure.
Groups in eastern Syria. These strikes were authorized in response to recent attacks against American and coalition personnel in Iraq. Very quickly, Richard, what do you know about that, if anything?
Not very much about the specific. There has been an escalation of attacks against U.S. personnel in Iraq. There was recently a major rocket attack in Erbil, and there had been pressure on the Biden administration to respond. Pressure from the military to respond.
Oh, pressure from the military. Remember, the new possible Secretary of Defense is going to be a Raytheon guy, by the way. Good morning, Attack Alpaca. So this was urged by the secretary. You know what? I got another suggestion for the Biden administration that, and I don't know why there was such resistance to removing troops from the Middle East under the prior administration. You know, the prior administration that who also let's be fair. They also did a retaliation in Syria and got rid of Soleimani, whatever. So let's put it this way. I'm somewhat reserving my judgment on this. But I gotta tell you, it would almost seem, okay, fine, do your little retaliatory strike, and then maybe figure out how to get those troops out of there. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, do we need them there? Do we need them there right now? Unless they are, I don't know the answer to this question, but unless they're there protecting something that we don't know about. But it seems to me, you know, we do have bases in Saudi Arabia. We have bases in Germany, albeit at least we were lightening up those bases, but still, we need to have people in Iraq and Afghanistan still. I would beg to differ if anyone answered yes. Okay. Good morning, John Arnott and Moonbased Radio. Let's see what Richard says here.
Militarily, and this administration, like with putting out this report, is establishing tone. It is trying to set up boundaries. It is sending a message to the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia that kind of behavior, killing journalists and then expecting to get away with it and expecting impunity, will not continue.
Wait. What did he just say? I missed something here. I got to go back. Hang on. What the hell does he talk about Saudi Arabia for?
To respond. Pressure from the military to respond militarily.
Okay.
And this administration, like with putting out this report, is establishing tone. It is trying to set up boundaries.
Establishing tone. Okay, we're going to bomb you if you do something. Okay, and I'm not, you know what, look, I guess if you attack our troops, there should be a response. But what does that mean, though, setting tone? I guess, that Joe Biden won't be milquetoast. Maybe that's what it is. All right, let's go. Hi to Radios.
Is sending a message to the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia that kind of behavior, killing journalists and then expecting to get away with it and expecting impunity, will not continue. So
is it just me, or did he just kind of do a complete non sequitur there? So setting a tone, this bombing didn't happen in Saudi Arabia. It happened in Syria. What does that have to do with setting a tone to the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia? What, that we will act? I don't know. Hello, why are you so angry? How you doing? I don't get that at all.
That's the message from this report. And from this military strike on infrastructure is also sending a message to the militias that just because there's a new administration, don't assume that things have changed, and they're going to continue to keep pressure on on those who try to harm U.S.
That
personnel.
second part I
in the war zone.
understand, and that almost makes some sense as far as, showing that just because we change administrations doesn't mean you can start doing some bullshit. I get that. I'm still confused about the message to the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. He went off on that's a really strange thing here. Someone here, great. Biden has to flex his muscles and show that America is really back. I wonder if that's serious. If she's saying that seriously. I hate seeing this stuff because someone tell me why we have to be there fighting them. Not sarcastic. I literally don't know. Does it matter? The administration, there's obviously a reason why we're still fighting it, but it just doesn't make sense to me. Important detail left out. Iran attacks U.S. forces first. Okay, we didn't attack Iran. We attacked forces in Syria. Iran backed. Now, granted, they may be Iran-backed forces, but I'm not really sure what that means. Anyway, that's that breaking news. And there's another bit of breaking news that this is a little, it's sad in a way as far as the reasoning. Although the man that is gone will not be missed at all. In fact, good luck to you in the in those hot place. John Geddert, former Olympic gymnastic coach, has killed himself. He has committed suicide. I'm not sure if I'm even allowed to say that word on YouTube, but I just said it. After being charged with human trafficking and sexual assault. Good morning, Justin Anderson. In Lansing, Michigan, former Olympic gymnastic coach John Geddert took his own life Thursday afternoon, hours after a judge issued a warrant charging him with human trafficking, racketeering, and sexual assault. Michigan State Police said Geddert's body was found in a rest area along eastbound Interstate 96 in Clinton County, Michigan, about 3:24 p.m. An investigation was ongoing Thursday evening, and no other details were being released, State Police tweeted. My office has been notified that the body of John Geddert was found late this afternoon after taking his own life, Attorney General Dana Nessel said in a written statement. This is a tragic end to a tragic story for everyone involved. Geddert, 63, formerly owned and coached at Twist Stars Gymnastic Club in Diamonddale, Michigan, where hundreds of women and girls say convicted sex offender Larry Nassar sexually abused them. Many said Geddert knew of this abuse, as Nassar had regularly treated young athletes in a back room at Twist Stars. Geddert was charged Thursday morning with 24 counts ranging from human trafficking to lying to police. He was expected to turn himself in for arraignment later in the day. During a news conference held Thursday before his death was discovered, Nessel said Geddert was accused of using force, fraud, and coercion against young athletes, putting them through multiple acts of verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual abuse. Athletes who worked with him were subjected to excessive physical training and were forced to perform while injured, Nessel said. Athletes also attempted suicide, harmed themselves, and suffered from eating disorders, she said. Geddert faced 20 counts of human trafficking and forced labor and 1 count each of first-degree sexual assault, second-degree sexual assault, racketeering, and lying to a police officer. The trafficking charges were all alleged to have occurred between 2008 and 2018. The 6 charges involving minors carry a maximum penalty of up to 20 years. A charge of lying to police, the only charge related to Nassar, Assistant Attorney General Daniel Heegman Clark said. Authorities alleged Geddert knew Nassar was sexually abusing athletes but failed to take action, then lied to police about it. So, I mean, it's a sad story, and I don't know if I feel bad for him at all. It's a horrific story, and I don't like the fact that, obviously that what was going on at that gym. If you knew the stories about Nassar, he was supposed to be one of the athletic trainers, and he was a creep is almost too mild a word to say, but anyway, that's the breaking news. Let me close this tab real quick. Oh shoot, I meant to show you that picture. Anyway, let's get into some other stuff that's going on. Wait, I'm going to skip that one for now. Back to the Syria thing. let's see. I'm going to just make sure there's anything new in this article too. I just have, there's also a Breitbart article about the Syria bombing thing. If you want to read that, I don't think there's any new information. Let's see. Marco Rubio says Iran-backed militias have launched 3 attacks against America in the last 2 weeks. The strikes ordered by POTUS against these militias tonight were targeted, proportional, and necessary. Jen Psaki, but it is funny because this is an old tweet by now White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki began recirculating Thursday evening after the strikes, appearing to question the Trump administration's authority to conduct airstrikes against the Syrian regime after a chemical weapons attack against his own people. What is the legal authority for strikes? Assad is a brutal dictator, but Syria is a sovereign country. Well, it's interesting. If she's asking the same questions right now, I doubt it. I doubt it. Thank you, Gunfox61, for sponsoring the show with the 5 spot from Streamlabs. And Gunfox61,
You are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
thank you, sir. He says, we killed General Goatfucker in Iraq. Also, it's not shocking that the left was anti-war against Trump and now did a 180 and are now pro-war. Did he just give a heads up of what the next war will be? Well, that's a good question, Gunfox61.
Man.
And again, oops.
China is asshole.
Whoa, I'm hitting the wrong. No, there we go. There we go. Thank you very much for your sponsorship of the show. Thanks. I appreciate it. Good morning, Tony A. I see you just dropped in. Nice to have you here. And I think I've gotten everybody so far. Everyone's here. Spambot22. And back to you too. Good morning to you too. Oh yes. Are we really back, or is it just a circle back? LOL. Well, that's a great question. Anyway, thanks again, Gunsfox61. I appreciate it. But yeah, funny, Jen Psaki's when Trump did some bombing over there, or did some strikes, that was her reaction then. I'm sure her reaction is much different now. All right, let me check good morning, Ryan himself too, gassing his own people. Heard that one before. Yeah, that, you know what, and I think they've pretty much proven that was a false flag. And so I'm glad at the time Trump did not escalate that, turn into another WMD situation, if you know what I mean. All right. Let's see. What do I want to hit next here? Oh, there was a hearing yesterday for the first ever. The first time I've ever knew who the nominee for a deputy secretary position is. I've seen the cabinet position, Secretary of Health nominees make news and whatnot. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. I've never known the name of the deputy secretary of health, but there was a hearing yesterday for confirmation of a deputy secretary of health. I've never even heard of this. I didn't even know they had to confirm the deputy secretary of health. And anyway, but there's one reason why we know this particular deputy secretary of health, because this particular deputy secretary of health is transgender. So that's a big news. And so there was a hearing yesterday, and good morning, Gamer Valine, by the way. And so they're having this hearing, and obviously all the senators are kind of dancing around the issues because they don't want to be offensive. But Rand Paul, good old Rand Paul, actually asked some real questions. And so, hang on a second here. Rand Paul is the only Republican willing to ask Biden's transsexual deputy secretary of health about her views on that parents should be cut out of a child's decision to amputate his or her genitals. Yes, Bobcat Goldweight. Although some people are saying that She kind of looks like if Mitch McConnell were transgender. I mean, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, a clip of Ron Paul asking the question multiple times because Levine, it must be Levine, repeatedly evades answering if she believes that parents' wishes should be ignored and that we should obey a child's alleged desire to amputate parts of their body. This is from looks like the Nation's Pulse. Most alarmingly, Dr. Levine has advocated for sex changes for prepubertal people, pre-puberty people, otherwise known as children. A professor of pediatrics and psychiatry at the Penn State College of Medicine, Levine has given lectures in various settings since at least 2012 on how to perform sex changes and gender conversion therapy on children, which I'm sorry, no. According to Levine, children ought to be given the latitude to choose their own gender. Levine has advised adults to try not to force them one way or the other and instead follow the child's lead. Now, we're talking about children. Children who we don't even let take aspirin on their own, or we don't let them do any medical decisions on their own, but we're saying that we should be able to allow them to actually completely change their body, like surgically, because, well, who knows? Because, anyway, she was saying, for prepubertal children, Levine said in a 2017 speech at Franklin and Marshall College, they might present in different ways. They might present at school in the gender they were identified at birth, or they might present as the other gender. Now that's interesting. That's an interesting statement in its own. So Dr. Levine or whatever it is, only think there's two genders by that sentence, right? Interesting. We just had an argument about this yesterday in the House of Representatives, right? The sign and the transgender flag. Listen to this again. That they might present in different ways. They might present at school in the gender they were identified at birth, or they might present as the other gender, or they might be more gender fluid. Okay, so at least Levine acknowledges there are two genders, and maybe there's a more fluidity between the two, but as two. Anyway, as Levine has described children as young as 5 or 6 as knowing which gender they wanted to be. Yes, and the example I heard yesterday from somebody else. Yeah, and I know people who thought they were Superman when they were 5 years old, but we didn't throw them off the roof. Anyway, once, however, the child reaches the young adolescent stage, Dr. Levine recommends puberty blockers, a practice which Dr. Levine apparently followed at Penn State Hersey Medical Center as chief of the Division of Adolescent Medicine and Eating Disorders. In speeches, Levine describes prescribing puberty blockers and cross-gender hormone injections to children who expressed anxiety about the natural process. Additionally, Levine has expressed doubts that the, quote, controversial, end quote, requirement in some standards of medical ethics that patients receive psychological evaluations before undergoing such drastic medical regimens. Yes, this moderate centrist government that the never-Trump and Republican establishment put into office just to spite actual conservatives and to prove that they own us. But the way moderate centrist Merrick Garland claimed that he hasn't had time to even consider women and girls should be whether women and girls should be forced to compete in sports with biological males. So here's the exchange. Here's one of the exchanges with Rand Paul and Dr. Levine.
Genital mutilation has been nearly universally.
By the way, that's not very loud. Hang on a second. I'm gonna pause. That's really, really low. I want to make sure you can hear it. This is amazing to me. This exchange is incredible to me. At least as far as the answers that were given. Here we go.
Genital mutilation has been nearly universally condemned. Genital mutilation has been condemned by the WHO, the United Nations Children's Fund, the United Nations Population Fund. According to the WHO, genital mutilation is recognized internationally as a violation of human rights. Genital mutilation is considered particularly egregious because, as the WHO notes, it is nearly always carried out on minors and is a violation of the rights of children. Most genital mutilation is not typically performed by force, but as WHO notes, that by social convention, social norm, the social pressure to conform, to do what others do and have been doing, as well as the need to be accepted socially and the fear of being rejected by the community. American culture is now normalizing the idea that minors can be given hormones to prevent their biological development of their secondary sexual characteristics. Dr. Levine, you have supported both allowing minors to be given hormone blockers to prevent them from going through puberty, as well as surgical destruction of a minor's genitalia. Like surgical mutilation, hormonal interruption of puberty can permanently alter and prevent secondary sexual characteristics. The American College of Pediatricians reports that 80 to 95% of prepubertal children with gender dysphoria will experience resolution by late adolescence if not exposed to medical intervention and social affirmation.
That's an important stat because most kids who even go through this change their minds, or just realize that they go through puberty and then their whole world changes to just being themselves. So anyway, let's keep going here.
Dr. Levine, do you believe that minors are capable of making such a life-changing decision as changing one's sex?
Well, Senator, thank
Okay, listen to these answers. These answers are infuriating.
you for your interest in this question. Transgender medicine is a very complex and nuanced field with robust research and standards of care that have been developed. And if I am fortunate enough to be confirmed as the Assistant Secretary of Health, I would look forward to working with you and your office and coming to your office and discussing the particulars of the standards of care for transgender medicine.
Was that an answer? It didn't sound like an answer to me. Did that sound like an answer to you? It sounded like, yeah, just confirm me, and we'll talk about it later. Huh. Okay, like that question can be answered after I'm confirmed. Interesting. Okay, let's listen to Rand Paul here.
Specific question was about minors. Let's be a little more specific since you evaded the question.
Oh,
do you support
damn.
the government intervening to override the parents' consent to give a child puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, and/or amputation surgery of breasts and genitalia? You have said that you're willing to accelerate the protocols for street kids. I'm alarmed that poor kids with no parents who are homeless and distraught, you would just go through this and allow that to happen to a minor. I would hope that you would have compassion for Kira Bell, who's a 23-year-old girl who was confused with her identity. At 14, she read on the internet about something about transsexual. She thought, well, maybe that's what I am. She ended up getting these puberty
I wonder if it was on Tumblr.
blockers, cross-sex hormones. She had her breasts amputated. But here's what ultimately she says now. And this is a very insightful decision from someone who made a mistake but was led to believe this was a good thing by the medical community. I made a brash decision as a teenager, as a lot of teenagers do, trying to find confidence and happiness, except now the rest of my life will be negatively affected, she said, adding that the medicalized gender transitioning was a very temporary, superficial fix for a very complex identity issue. What I'm alarmed at is that you're not willing to say absolutely minors shouldn't be making decisions to amputate their breast or to amputate their genitalia. For most of our history, we have believed that minors don't have full rights and the parents need to be involved. So I'm alarmed that you won't say with certainty that minors should not have the ability to make the decision to take hormones that will affect them for the rest of their life. Will you make a more firm decision on whether or not minors should be involved in these decisions?
Listen again now.
Senator, transgender medicine is a very complex and nuanced field, and if confirmed to the position of Assistant Secretary of Health, I would certainly be pleased to come to your office and talk with you and your staff about the standards of care and the complexity of this field.
So this person knowing or likely knowing that a question like this would be asked. Because you know what? Look, Deputy Secretary of Health, not the Secretary of Health, not the cabinet position, but the Deputy Secretary of Health. By the way, do you know who the Deputy Secretary of Transportation is? Anybody? Or who, I suppose the nominee for the Deputy Secretary of Transportation. How about the Deputy Secretary of Commerce? Anybody? I don't even know who Biden's nominee for the Secretary of Commerce is, let alone Deputy Secretary of Commerce. But this is the diversity hire. Oh, duh! I didn't even think of that. This is the diversity hire. Oh, never mind. I gotcha. But because we have a trans person, and guess what? You know that Rand Paul is probably getting raked over the coals by all the lefties, right? Just for daring to question a trans woman, who is a woman, by the way, because trans women are women. Anyway, no, but just the idea that this person came in and said, you know what? Everyone's seen my speeches on this kind of thing, and so if I get asked this question, I am going to give a canned answer, not once, but twice. Straight up canned answer.
Let it go into the record that the witness refused to answer the question. The question is a very specific one. Should minors be making these momentous decisions? For most of the history of medicine, we wouldn't let you have a cut sewn up in the ER. But you're willing to let a minor take things that prevent their puberty, and you think they get that back? You give a woman testosterone enough that she grows a beard, you think she's going to go back looking like a woman when you stop the testosterone? You have permanently changed them. Infertility is another problem. None of these drugs have been approved for this. They're all being used off-label. I find it ironic that the left that went nuts over hydroxychloroquine being used possibly for COVID are not alarmed that these hormones are being used off-label. There's no long-term studies. We don't know what happens to them. We do know that there are dozens and dozens of people who've been through this who regret that this happened and a permanent change happened to them.
Well, hundreds.
And, if you've ever been around children, 14-year-olds can't make this decision. In the gender dysphoria clinic in England, 10% of the kids are between the ages of 3 and 10. We should be outraged that someone's talking to a 3-year-old about changing their sex. I can't vote for you if you can't make a decision.
Thank you so much, Senator Paul.
Anyway,
Senator Levine, thank you for answering the question.
All right. Now but you got to remember, this is very similar to Merrick Garland's answer to a similar question. In fact, here's him answering this question, a similar question. Oh, hang on, as soon as it pops open here. Here's Merrick Garland answering a similar question.
It reaffirmed my role as a judge.
Okay. In my last 20 seconds, I'm going to ask you if you agree with this statement. Allowing, and I'm not suggesting the answer one way or the other, I just want to know what you believe. Allowing biological males to compete in an all-female sport deprives women of the opportunity to participate fully and fairly in sports and is fundamentally unfair to female athletes.
This is a very difficult societal question that you're asking here. I know what underlies it.
I know, but you're going to be Attorney General.
Well, but I may not be the one who has to make policy decisions like that, but it's not that I'm adverse to it. Look, I think every human being should be treated with dignity and respect.
Unless, of course, there's a lawsuit. If there's a federal lawsuit, because they're making a federal rule they're trying to make a federal law on this very subject. And so he's going to have to be the one who determines whether or not the Department of Justice either fights a lawsuit like this or supports a lawsuit like this. So of course you're going to, though it's a very difficult societal question that must be answered by the law. So you not determining whether or not you dancing around it, who knows? Good morning, Jedi Ghost Bear and TC Ball and Johnny Hellcat, the original viewer of the Morning Night Live. Hi, guys.
That's an overriding sense of my own character, but an overriding sense of what the law requires. The particular question of how Title IX applies in schools is one, and in light of the Bosniak case, which I know you're very familiar with, is something that I would have to look at when I have a chance to do that. I've not had the chance to consider these kinds of issues in my career so far.
All right. So anyway, it's like I said, it's similar to that non-answer there. Let's see. Let's move on here. Good morning. Good morning, James PFP. How you doing? Okay. Oh, and by the way, real quick, I think I have another thank you to do here. Let's see. Thank you, Becca Fairley, for tweeting out the show. Greatly appreciate that. Although I don't, are you here, Becca? I don't even see you here. Or did I miss you here somewhere? Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. I didn't see you in the I didn't see you in the chat. Maybe are you over? Okay, hang on a second. Let me check something here. I want to see real quick. I'm just gonna take a little spying. In fact, you can do it with me. Let's do this together. We're gonna go spy on Ranting Monkey for a second and see who's over there. Oh, see, there's my show. Here's the after party.
Wait, and this is a guy who's part of the men's rights movement saying,
in fact, we could
this
do
is
a
my
raid.
concern about what's going to happen.
We could do a raid on Monkey.
It should be an equal rights movement.
Anyone want to do a raid on Monkey?
That's what we should be, not men's rights, not women's
Who's over
rights,
here? Let's see who's over in the chat over here. X-Bubba Hotep's over here. TC's over here.
Any of that.
Who of my crowd? Bastard Bees. There's quite a few of them.
That's what it's supposed to be.
All right.
But you get these groups that come together. No, it's for women's rights. It's for men's rights.
I want you guys to do something for me. I'm gonna put a link here. Let's mute him for a second. Let's do this. We're gonna do a dog raid, and I've never sent a dog raid before. All you got to do is I'm gonna put the link in the chat, and we're all gonna go over and let's see what should we put over there. What should we put in the chat? What do you think? How about oh, my lovely spouse.
I wiped out the pan and didn't burn my finger for the first time.
Oh, very good. Everyone say hi to Lady Boomer. She came down and informed me that she made some eggs in a pan, and I always say, oh, just wipe out the pan when you're done. And she wiped out the pan and she didn't burn her fingers for the very first time. She's very excited, and that makes my day. All right, let's see. How about let's see. Oh, I know. Here's what we go. Here's what we're gonna say, and I'm gonna put it in the chat. You can cut and paste it. Cereal is not soup. So I'm putting it in my chat so you know what to say, and then I'm gonna put a link and just pop over there. Put cereal is not soup, and then you can. Then you can come right back. Everyone's saying hi. Everyone's saying hi, honey. All right, so here's the link. Pop over to Monkey's stream. Put cereal is not soup in the chat, and then come on back. All right, I'm going to give you a couple seconds here. All right. Oh, and actually, I see some people already over there. P-Dawg Pile. I see it over there. P-Dawg is playing. Oh, Mike Savage is saying I'm planning a raid. Why did you tell them, Mike Savage? Come on, man. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Anyway, there we go. I got some people saying cereal is not soup. Let's see if what he's got here.
For boys, we do, but we need to do so in the name of actual equality. If that's what if you want.
Looks like we're getting a few cereal soup.
That's what I want.
Bread is soup, equality. Though.
Equality of opportunity for everybody. We're not going to ignore boys because girls need more help.
Oh, thank you, everybody participating in this raid.
Which
this is fantastic.
Thank you, Drew W. As Hillary Clinton said, in war, women suffer the most, right? We need to get away from that. And you guys out there, you need to stop being so afraid of women.
Here, let's see if he can.
And women who aren't afraid of women, you need to speak up more.
Let's see if he knows.
So that guys know there are women who support him. Because right now, the only thing that happens is loudmouth feminist T-Watts are out there giving their perspective. And guys who
he's not
disagree are shut down immediately as some kind of horrible, sexist, usually racist too. And that's not the case. just somebody.
All right. Anyway, let's
trying
get
to
back
stand up for
into
what's right.
Let's get back into my show.
But you
here.
can't do that in our society because then you'll be attacked. Then you'll be attacked.
There we go. All right. So, where are we at here? Oh, so you might have heard, we just told the story yesterday about the woman at Smith College who ended up leaving Smith College. And it's all kind of predicated. Here it is. Oh, here it is. Let's go into this story. You might have heard this somewhere else too. But anyway, at Smith College, there's this administrator, professor, something like that. Some of the toxic wokeness causes a liberal staffer to resign. So in 2018, Smith College student Amu Kanute accused the school of racial profiling, saying that she was approached by a security officer for eating while black. Okay. A subsequent investigation found that not only was Kanute dining in a closed area, she was not racially profiled nor discriminated against. Still, the incident set off a furor at the private women's liberal arts college in Northampton, Massachusetts, with staff forced to take anti-racist training, which I have a new name for this now. I have a new name for this. It's called it's called white people conversion therapy. Because remember how they had this big thing? They're all pissed off about people. Oh, they're going to try to have people go through gay conversion therapy. Well, I consider anti-racist training, or like the thing that they did at Coca-Cola. It's called white people. What is it I say? White people conversion therapy or white conversion therapy as opposed to gay conversion therapy. So anyway, so they had to take this anti-racist training, and some employees were being tarred as bigots. The blanket assumption that every white member at Smith was a racist rankled Jody Shaw, a lifelong liberal who made $45,000 a year at a school where they pay $72,000 a year. As a staffer at Smith, she resigned her position, saying the attitude at Smith, in fact, at liberal colleges, is not enlightened, it's regressive, and it taps into humanity's worst instincts to break down into warring factions. And I fear this rapidly is leading us to a very twisted place, she wrote in a letter to Smith College president Kathleen McCarthy. So here's her resignation letter, and it was originally published on journalist Barry Weiss's Substack blog, available at that link there in the article. Dear President McCarthy, I'm writing to notify you that effective today, I'm resigning from my position as student support coordinator in the Department of Residence Life at Smith College. This has not been an easy decision, as I now face a deeply uncertain future. As a divorced mother of two, the economic uncertainty brought about by this resignation will impact my children as well, but I have no choice. The racially hostile environment that the college has subjected me to for the past 2.5 years has left me physically and mentally debilitated. I can no longer work in this environment, nor can I remain silent about a matter so central to basic human dignity and freedom. I graduated from Smith College in 1993. Those 4 years were among the best of my life. Naturally, I was over the moon when years later I had the opportunity to join Smith as a staff member. I loved my job and I loved being back at Smith. But now, isn't that weird? Now, it wasn't $72,000 a year back then, but now it's $72,000 a year to go to Smith, which is crazy. And she's working in a job that's $45,000 a year. Unfathomable. Anyway, but the climate in my place at the college changed dramatically when in July 2018, the culture war arrived at our campus when a student accused a white staff member of calling campus security on her because of racial bias. The student, who is black, shared her account of this incident widely on social media, drawing a lot of attention to the college. Before even investigating the facts of the incident, the college immediately issued a public apology to the student, placed the employee on leave, and announced its intention to create new initiatives, committees, workshops, trainings, and policies aimed at combating systemic racism on campus. White conversion therapy. Hi, Cindy. I'm sorry, I saw that at the same time. Also, hi, Rusty Shaq, Laura Stanhope, and anyone else who's jumped in. Okay. White conversion therapy. Anyway, in spite of an independent investigation into the incident that found no evidence of racial bias, the college ramped up its initiatives aimed at dismantling the supposed racism that pervades the campus. Why is it that... okay, let me ask you this. Why exactly is it that the colleges and the universities are the places that seem to have the most racism? You ever notice that? I mean, it's like constantly hearing about it at colleges, right? It's the college and university that are just teeming with racism and discrimination and systemic racism and anti-blackness. I thought these were the most enlightened places on earth. Just saying. Anyway, thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
For sponsoring the show through Streamlabs this morning. Let's see. Okay, I'm just gonna read it. Fuck this tranny dude. It's called puberty, meaning your body hasn't completed the changes to physically become an adult.
That's right.
It had long-term consequences like cancer, sterility, micropenis, 40% regret that led to suicide.
That's right.
He's a pedo.
That's right.
Okay, that's just a verbatim reading of the sponsor's words, and I didn't feel the need to edit those today. So there we go. Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite, for sponsoring the show. Appreciate it. All right, so let's see. Allowing this narrative to dominate has this only served to I'm just going back here. In spite of an independent investigation into the incident that found no evidence of racial bias, the college ramped up its initiatives aimed at dismantling the supposed racism that pervades the campus. This only served to support the now prevailing narrative that the incident had been racially motivated and that Smith's staff are racists. Yeah. So if they found no evidence, why were they ramping this up? Well, because it gives the impression that this was a racist incident when it was not. Anyway, allowing this narrative to dominate has had a profound impact on the Smith community and on me personally. For example, in 2018, just days before I was to present a library orientation program into which I had poured a tremendous amount of time and effort and which had previously been approved by my supervisors, I was told that I could not proceed with the planned program because it was going to be done in rap form and because you are white. As my supervisor told me, that could be viewed as cultural appropriation. My supervisor made clear he did not object to a rap in general, nor to the idea of using music to convey orientation information to students. The problem was my skin color. Jimmy from Philly, what is up? I've been wondering about you, man. I hope you're doing okay. I haven't seen you around in a while. I am so happy to see your bright, shiny avatar in my chat right now. Nice to see you. Because you're white. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant wiped. Jimmy from Philly, wiped. Anyway, continuing in the letter, though, I was up for a full-time position in the library at the time, and I was essentially informed that my candidacy for that position was dependent upon my ability in a matter of days to reinvent a program to which I had devoted months of time. Humiliated, knowing my candidacy for the full-time position was now dead in the water, I moved into my current lower-paying position as student support coordinator in the Department of Residence Life. As it turned out, my experience in the library was just beginning. In my new position, I was told on multiple occasions that discussing my personal thoughts and feelings about my skin color is a requirement of my job. White conversion therapy. And I endured racially hostile comments and was expected to participate in racially prejudicial behavior as a continued condition of my employment. I endured meetings in which another staff member violently banged his fist on the table, chanting, rich white women, in reference to Smith alumni. Well, it's funny because this Smith alumni was making $45,000 a year. She could probably make that as a manager at McDonald's. Anyway, I listed my supervisor openly named preferred racial quotas for job openings at our department. I was given supplemental literature in which the world's population was reduced to 2 categories: dominant group members and subordinated group members based solely on characteristics like race. Huh. Does that sound like, that kind of sounds like Marxism. Anyway, thank you, Johnny Hellcat, with the Phone 99 sponsorship through Streamlabs. Thank you for sponsoring the show. I've heard about them in elementary school, but I never thought I'd live to see witch burnings in my lifetime. I'm telling you. Crazy, isn't it? San, how you doing? Who is Eminem? Beastie Boys. Well, here's the problem. Here's another problem, though. Okay, now, I have one question as I read this. So this someone who wanted to be part of the library and was doing some student orientation stuff, and she was now a student support coordinator in the Department of Residential Life, and she was going to do this presentation to new students. Could it be that the supervisor or whoever her higher up was just heard the rap and said, "Oh my God, you are too white"? That would have, but listen, when they say try to be less white, I think for sure that she was showing them how she could be less white by rapping and proving that she was less white. Anyway, let me continue here. Every day I watch my colleagues manage students' conflict through the lens of race, projecting rigid assumptions and stereotypes on students, thereby reducing them to the color of their skin. Huh. That sounds like racism. Maybe she's right. It is. And see how racism is rampant on these colleges? I'm telling you. I am asked to do the same, as well as to support curriculum for students that teaches them to project those same stereotypes and assumptions onto themselves and others. I believe such a curriculum is dehumanizing. It prevents authentic connection and undermines the moral agency of young people who are just beginning to find their way in the world. Well, I appreciate this woman quite a bit by this letter. Although I've spoken to many staff and faculty at the college who are deeply troubled by all of this, they are too terrified to speak out. Well, yeah, because it's cancel world on steroids at every single college, right? This illustrates the deeply hostile and fearful culture that pervades Smith College and probably most other major universities. I just got to say it. The last straw came in January 2020 when I attended a mandatory residence life staff retreat focused on racial issues. The hired facilitators asked each member of the department to respond to various personal questions about race and racial identity. When it was my turn to respond, I said, "I don't feel comfortable talking about that." I was the only person in the room to abstain. Later, the facilitators told everyone present that a white person's discomfort discussing their race is a symptom of, yes, I bet you can guess what the words coming up are. White fragility. White fragility. Yeah. They said that the white person may seem like they are in distress, but that it is actually a power play. In other words, because I'm white, my genuine discomfort was framed as an act of aggression. I was shamed and humiliated in front of all of my colleagues. I filed an internal complaint about the hostile environment, but throughout that process, over the course of almost 6 months, I felt like my complaint was taken less seriously because of my race. I was told that the civil rights law protections were not created to help people like me, and after I filed my complaint, I started to experience retaliatory behavior, like having important aspects of my job taken away without explanation. Under the guise of racial progress, Smith College has created a racially hostile environment in which individual acts of discrimination and hostility flourish. In this environment, people's worth as human beings and the degree to which they deserve to be treated with dignity and respect is determined by the color of their skin. It is in an environment in which dissenting from the new critical race orthodoxy or even failing to swear fealty to it, like some kind of McCarthy-era loyalty oath, is grounds for public humiliation and professional retaliation. So she just goes on to tell her why you can't. I mean, she goes on and on, but I'm going to stop there. You get the gist of this, right? So about the incident that this kind of all stemmed from. So the New York Times, in their article about this same situation, basically tells about this young black woman who basically lied about being racially targeted at Smith College, claims a lie is just someone's deeply felt sense of personal truth. The New York Times says this. The lie is just the someone's deeply felt sense of personal truth. It's her personal truth. So in the midsummer of this is from the New. Oh, this is from Real Clear Investigations. Do I have that open too? I thought I did. In midsummer of 2018, Amu Kanute, a black student at Smith College, recounted a distressing American tale. She was eating lunch at a dorm lounge when a janitor and a campus police officer walked over and asked her what she was doing there. Hello, Maniac Man, by the way. It isn't discomfort discussing race. It's an annoyance because most of us were raised not to base our judgment of people on it. And now we have to defend something we can't change. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I will never ask you to try to defend that because I don't, personally, I don't give a shit. Okay. So the janitor and a campus police officer walked over and asked her what she was doing there. Okay. In Smith College. Now, the officer who could not have been carrying a lethal weapon left her in near meltdown, Miss Canute wrote on Facebook, saying that this encounter continued a year-long pattern of harassment at Smith. All I did was be black, Miss Canute wrote. It's outrageous that some people question my being at Smith College and my existence overall as a woman of color. I get so tired of this stupid, you do not believe that we are human, or you do not believe that we're allowed to exist. You're right in front of me, bitch. You're right here. I can see you. I'm talking to you. Obviously, I believe you exist. Did I say bitch? I think I did. Oh my God. Hello, Infamous One and Michael Hatfield. And Jesse Leon. Okay. So, all I did was be black. Okay. The college president, Kathy McCartney, offered profuse apologies and put the janitor on paid leave. This painful incident reminds us of the ongoing legacy of racism and bias, the president wrote, in which people of color are targeted while simply going about the business of their ordinary lives. The New York Times, the Washington Post, and CNN picked up on the story of a young female student harassed by white workers. The American Civil Liberties Union, which took the student's case, said she was profiled for eating while black. The truth? The truth is that the dormitory was closed to students for the summer. It was being used only for a summer camp for very young girls. And when the parents have entrusted young kids to you, you restrict who can interact with them. This woman went into the dorm anyway and laid on the floor. And she was not a young child. And the staff had been told to shoo anyone except the program's participants and officials out of the dorm. Security was called. Security was called. And then began the screaming that she was being targeted for being black, rather than being told to leave on a place reserved for a summer camp for young children. Miss Canute was determined to have eaten in the deserted dorm that had been closed for the summer. The janitor had been encouraged to notify security if he saw unauthorized people there. The officer, like all campus police, was unarmed. This was obvious from the start, but it did not stop the media, the ACLU, and Smith College itself from spreading the word of another fake hate crime. And despite the fact that the people who followed the school's orders and tried to get a student out of a restricted area had their lives overturned by cries of racism, no one has apologized to them. Not the media, not Smith College, nor this racial arsonist student. Smith College offered various concessions to minority students to make up for the non-hate crime they did not suffer, but they did not offer any public apology or amends to the workers whose lives were gravely disrupted by the students' accusations. And this nasty little hell did attempt to publicly destroy these workers. A janitor, a cafeteria worker, a lunch lady, and those with all this structural racist power in the society. Because, yeah, the janitor and the lunch lady, they have all that power. Quote, the repercussions spread. 3 weeks after the incident at Tyler House, Miss Blair, the cafeteria worker, received an email from a reporter at the Boston Globe. The Boston Globe contacted the lunch lady, asking her to comment on why she called security on Miss Canute for eating while black. Well, first of all, I don't think I didn't call security for her for eating while black. Nobody did that. In fact, she was in a restricted area, but I digress. The food services director was called. Then the food service director called the next morning. Jackie, he said, you're on Facebook. She found that Miss Canute had posted her photograph, name, and email along with that of Mr. Pantanode, the 21-year-old Smith employee and janitor. This racist person, Miss Canute wrote of Miss Blair, adding that Mr. Pantanode was also guilty. He, in fact, worked an early shift that day and had already gone home at the time. So he wasn't even there. She put someone's name who wasn't even there. Miss Canute also lashed out at the Smith administration, saying they are essentially enabling racist, cowardly acts. Miss Blair has lupus, a disease of the immune system, and stress triggers episodes. She felt faint. Oh my God, I didn't do this, she told a friend. I exchanged a hello with that student, and now I'm a racist? Miss Blair was born and raised and lives in Northampton with her husband, a mechanic, and makes about $40,000 a year. Within days of being accused by Miss Canute, she said, she found notes in her mailbox and taped to her car window. Racist read one. People called her at home. You should be ashamed of yourself, the caller said. You don't deserve to live, said another. Smith College put out a short statement noting that Miss Blair had not placed the phone call to security, but did not absolve her of broader responsibility. Yeah, so some fashionably middle-class white people, aka white people, are being threatened and ruined over a lie. But they're subhuman, so who cares? The smallest narrative is worth more than any white person's life, of course. Report found that there was no evidence of any racial bias here. In addition, Ms. Canute expanded her accusation to claim a pattern of discrimination lasting an entire year, but they found no evidence of that either. In fact, Canute could not even point to any evidence of this. The report that said Ms. Canute could not point out to anything that supported the claim she made on Facebook of a year-long pattern of discrimination. Smith College chooses to see the report as validation of a racial wolf choir's lived experience. Still, Miss McCartney said the report validated Miss Canute's lived experience. What? Her lived experience of crying wolf? Good Lord. And the New York Times, of course, chooses to frame it this way, too, as unresolvable conflicts with no real answers between established facts and some racial paranoids or race hustlers' deeply felt personal truth. Quote, this story highlights the tension between a student's deeply felt sense of personal truth and facts that are at odds with it. You mean the student's pile of bullshit? Anyway, and then the low-paid workers, the one who take the brunt of the get fired for it. Anyway, enough of that. PDawg, love the LGBT background. LOL. What's in my background? I'm not sure what you mean there. Anyway, Canute will never hold down a legit job in her life. Okay, that's fascinating you say that, because I wonder. I would love to know what this young woman's major is. I got a feeling it ends in the word studies. And so she's probably flinging coffee at Starbucks right now. Anyway. All right. I don't know if you saw this one. Is this the one? Apparently, where is it? Oh gosh, where is it? Hang on a second here. Let me find it. I'm going to do this real quick. So, this, I'm sure you guys have heard about the Chinese new method of testing for coronavirus, right? The proverbial anal swabs. You've heard of that? Well, apparently China was enforcing they were forcing State Department employees of the United States to get tested for COVID. Of course, China forced Joe Biden's State Department employees to undergo repeated anal penetrations. And they didn't even say thank you. Remember that video showing China's new COVID anal swabs? They forced Joe Biden staffers to get repeated anal penetrations just to make sure Biden remembered who owned him. And now they say, whoops, we forgot that diplomatic personnel are immune from our orders. The Chinese government has promised to stop using anal swabs on American diplomats to test for COVID-19 after Washington complained that the practice was undignified, the U.S. State Department said. The State Department never agreed to this kind of testing and protested directly to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs when we learned that some staff were subject to it. A State Department spokesman told Vice World News on Wednesday. The spokesman said Beijing had assured Washington that the test was given in error and that diplomatic personnel were exempt from the test, which was mandatory for incoming travelers in some part of China. On Thursday afternoon, China's Foreign Ministry spokesman Zhao Lijiang denied Beijing had asked U.S. diplomats in China to undergo anal swab tests. But they did it. Oh gosh, they own Joe Biden. Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite, for sponsoring the show with another deuce, saying, because a crazy racist bitch who lied on a man and was in a place that was off limits, the obvious solution is to introduce segregation at a liberal college. Now that's progressive.
That's right.
For the love of God, repeal the 19th before we destroy the West.
That's right.
Yes. But I think a good dose of white conversion therapy is good for all white people. So there you go. Anyway, all right. I got to do a lot of quick hits here in 15 minutes. So here we go. The new Secretary of Energy suggested, apparently at some time, Jennifer Granholm suggested that President Trump intentionally, you mean those green jabs that you're going to talk about? Anyway, I'm impatient for results. Now let's get to work. Well, fortunately, Republicans voted in favor of Granholm's nomination, joining all 48 Democrats and the 2 independent senators who often caucus with Democrats. But there's a little thing, though, here that Granholm said at one point in her career, is whatever this. In October, Granholm, who by the way echoed Joe Biden's call to take the vitriol out of politics, she suggested that Donald Trump purposely accelerated COVID-19 transmission during the presidential campaign, claiming in an October 24th tweet that super spreader events across the country, infecting thousands more Americans. What? Here it is. And Donald Trump intentionally holding super spreader events across the country because he wanted to get people infected. What kind of human being knowingly and intentionally spreads the virus? What monster does 14 more of these rallies in states where hospitals are overloaded and the virus is spiking? Donald Trump has caused the death of 700 people. What? How many more this weekend? So this is back in October. So anyway, FTG for Jennifer Granholm, even though it's not Thursday. Oh, Scotty Dubs, I see you there. Thank you, Scotty Dubs. The music is about to hit. With the who's sponsoring the show through YouTube Super Chat, who says, now the United States is literally taking it in the butt from China. Yes, they are. I see they made you spell China in an alternative manner on YouTube. That's interesting. Thank you. There's also, I have an interesting article by Matt Walsh. Looks like it's a paywall type article. So I'm not going to, I don't know if the archive came up or not. Let's see here. Hang on a second. Let's see if I got the archive version of this. Oh, what happened here? Hang on. Okay, well, that didn't work. Let's see. Did I get an archive version here? I attempted to get this in an archive version, but maybe it didn't work. All right. Well, never mind to that. Anyway, let's continue on. There's an article in the Daily Wire. What the hell's that going on? There's an article in the Daily Wire about the myth of the police shooting and them targeting black people. It's an interesting article, but unfortunately I couldn't pull it down. Anyway, oh, and this one too. Why are my Daily Wire articles happening like this? Okay, well, I'll have to come back to that. I'm just going to close these and not do them. Oh, here it is. Here's the article that I archived. So on this whole anti-racist thing, John McWhorter is where is he from? Oh, don't tell me that this is going to make me do this here too. Oh, it is. Okay, well, never mind. You know what? Screw the Daily Wire right now. Here's an interesting article in American Greatness, the imaginary menace behind everything that's wrong in America. You know what that imaginary menace is, and what we need more of? Hello, Check Your Logic. You know what we need more of? We need more white conversion therapy, because everything, the menace that is being faulted for everything right now in the United States is white supremacy. Now, I don't believe in white supremacy, so I don't talk about it that much. But apparently there are certainly a great number of people who love to talk about it because they must believe it. And I don't. You know what? There's people who are better at me at things, and there are people who are not better at me at things. But it has nothing to do with what color their skin is. Anyway, everything that's wrong, the imaginary menace, everything that's wrong in America. I'll read some of this, but you'll have to just check this out in the tabs later. Attorney General nominee Merrick Garland announced his chief priority to the Senate Monday. If confirmed, he said, I will supervise the prosecution of white supremacists and others who stormed the Capitol on January 6th. So that, right now, of those people that have been arrested, we know of two that kind of fit in that category of white supremacists. Now, they want you to think that everyone who came in the Capitol that day was, but there's only two so far of the 200 or whatever something that they've arrested that, actually have proclaimed themselves. But I digress. A heinous attack that sought to disrupt the cornerstone of our democracy. He also insisted America faces a more dangerous period than we faced in Oklahoma City due to the white supremacist threat. I'm still wondering where all these white supremacists are. Garland is not alone in believing that this is the number one threat. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres said on Monday that the white supremacy is the number one threat to the entire world. Really? Even more than the coronavirus or nuclear proliferation or war, no, white supremacy. Quote, white supremacy and neo-Nazi movements are more than domestic terror threats. They are becoming a transnational threat, Gutierrez said in Geneva. Today, these extremist movements represent the number one internal security threat in several countries. Gutierrez claimed that these hate groups are cheered on by people in positions of responsibility in ways that were considered unimaginable not long ago. In response, he demands global coordinated action to defeat this grave and growing danger. What the fuck does that mean? Hello, Sapphire Dragon. White nationalists are also blamed for rising crime in America. Really? Really? Several hundred. Oh, here we go. This is hilarious. So, several hundred demonstrators marched against, quote, against white nationalism, end quote, last week in New York. The demonstrators blamed white supremacists for the recent spate of attacks on Asian Americans. Several Asian leaders shared this belief and laid the blame for these attacks on Donald Trump's rhetoric and xenophobia. Now, let me just, I don't want to, I'm not one to criticize people based on their demographics. But in pretty much all these attacks against Asians recently that they keep touting, there's two common things that are most common about the races of the people involved. And at least in the ones that have been reported, every one that they've reported except for one that I've seen, the common factors of the races involved has been the race of the victim, Asians, because they're really promoting this. I mean, it's almost like they're going for an Asian Lives Matter thing right now, and then trying to blame it on white supremacy. But in every one that I've seen where they have the suspect, the perpetrator has been someone from kind of looks a little more like me. You know what I'm saying? And not that I think it's, and because it's kind of like with, remember, and they were talking about the anti-Semitic attacks in New York City and Brooklyn, remember? And every 100% of those attacks were from the brothers. And I'm ashamed to say it in a little bit, but so how in the hell this thing in New York City the other day where the demonstrators marched against white nationalism, it was Asian Lives Matter, basically, against white nationalism. But I'm not sure that all these brothers are white nationalists. And how that has, they blame the attack on Donald Trump's rhetoric. But I didn't think the brothers were listening to Donald Trump. I know he got more black support this time, right? But I don't think that the general population of the brothers who are attacking these Asian guys are doing it because of something Donald Trump said. Just call me crazy, but I just don't think so. I'm just, you know what I mean? I'm just saying. Hello, Snoopy. What's up? All right. So, anyway, white nationalists were even blamed for last summer's Black Lives Matter rioting. Numerous officials, including Minnesota's governor and the mayor of Richmond, Virginia, blamed white supremacist infiltrators for the violence caused in the name of racial justice. Yeah. It was all infiltrators. Right. I'm just saying. You would think the Klansmen are roaming America's streets and terrorizing ordinary citizens on a daily basis. Why? There was a guy jogging in a hood down my street the other day. I could have sworn it was actually just a hoodie, and it wasn't even white, but it was a hood. You have to worry about a skinhead gang. You have to worry about a skinhead gang beating you to a bloody pulp every time you go to the supermarket. Yep, they're just roaming the produce aisle. And that's how this problem is portrayed. According to liberals, terrorism, violence, and crime stem from this pasty-faced menace. This is the only problem that warrants law enforcement attention right now. Not Antifa. They are peacefully protesting again. Anyone with a shred of common sense can see this is plainly ridiculous. There are, of course, some nutty right-wing extremists out there, but they weren't the ones burning down cities or laying siege to the entire Pacific Northwest. That was Antifa and Black Lives Matter. Garland was asked about this left-wing threat, and he dismissed it as just ordinary criminality. Yeah, going on for hundreds of days consecutively. See, it didn't rise to the level of terrorism because these leftists attacked federal buildings at night. In his opinion, they didn't disrupt any court cases or other official business of our free and fair democracy. Thus, we can't compare their actions to the most heinous attack on our democracy, and it doesn't rise to the level of terrorism. At least he didn't try to blame their violence on his preferred enemy. But Garland, like all of these voices, would ignore other threats in favor of the preferred enemy, white supremacists who need white conversion therapy. By the way, if you use the term white conversion therapy in the future, please credit PDawgKnight. I'm gonna put that. It's white. I haven't seen it yet. Here, in fact, let's check. You know what? Let's do this. Let's search Twitter if anyone else has come up with the term white conversion therapy, and if not, I'm gonna just take the time to tweet it right now. Let's see. White conversion. Oops. What's wrong there? There we go. White conversion therapy. Search for white conversion therapy. Nope, I got it. Nope. No one's done it. Okay, let's find the Coca-Cola. Okay, guys, this is just some sausage being made as we speak. Look for Coca-Cola. Not Coca-Cola, Coke. Let's just do Coke. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Where is it? Did they have any critical race theory Coca-Cola? Nope. Oh, looks like they've scrubbed everything. Let's see. Let's go Coca-Cola. Let's see if anyone has Coca. Oops. That's Coca-Cola. Let's see here. Try to be less white. Coca-Cola is training telling polar bears to try to be less white. That's funny. Well, here, I'll just do a pithy little tweet here. By the way, thank you, Tyler F., for retweeting the show. I appreciate that. Let's see. So, has Coca-Cola officially ended their white conversion therapy program yet. There we go. I see they took the video. There we go. There we go. White conversion therapy. That's my original thought. And somebody else will probably steal it. But anyway. All right. Anyway, so yeah, this whole push though that they're white supremacy everywhere. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. I just don't get it. I'm just now you're searching for Coca-Cola. Yeah. Okay. And the thing is, I'm not gonna boycott Coca. I'm not going to boycott Coca-Cola. I'm not. I just can't drink Pepsi. I can't do it. And there's no, unless I heard that SodaStream, where you make your own soda, whatever. I hear that they have a cola version that tastes very much like Coca-Cola, but I don't even want to deal with that. Anyway, all right, let's finish this up here. Let's see. Michigan lawmaker demands investigation into Whitmer's handling of nursing homes as Cuomo scandal unfolds. It's about time. Holy smokes. They need to check her too. I'm hearing from some people that she did worse than Cuomo. Look at that face. Holy shit. What is she doing? There's something that is it just me? She photographs like someone that maybe should have been in a devil movie or something, like, one of the, like Devil's Advocate with, who is that? With Keanu Reeves and Al Pacino. Ever see that movie, Devil's Advocate? She just seems like something should be one of the devils. Anyway, 8 Republican Michigan State senators sent a letter to Acting Attorney General Monty Wilkinson and Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel on Wednesday demanding investigations into Governor Gretchen Whitmer's handling of COVID-19 in the state's nursing homes. Residents of Michigan long-term care facilities represent 5,500 of the 16,000 suspected and confirmed COVID deaths in the state since the start of the pandemic, according to the state's latest available reporting. The GOP lawmakers requested Nessel Wilkinson investigate whether Whitmer's April 15th executive order, which prohibited nursing homes in most cases from barring admission to residents who were previously hospitalized with the virus, contributed to the death toll. We already know it did. And, so anyway, good. They need to investigate her. Moving on. There's a House committee is considering measures that would reverse one of the Iowa races for Congress and would unseat a Republican. This, I think, might be dirty politics, if you ask me. Hang on, let me center this for you. Questioning the outcome of the 2020 election is forbidden unless you're a Democrat. Just 6 votes decided the race for Iowa's 2nd district, and Republican Marionette Miller Meeks won. Democratic candidate Rita Hart appealed directly to the Democratic-controlled House. And now, weeks later, they're actually considering a measure that would reverse the outcome of a legal, duly elected congressperson. House takes first step in a contested election to review that may result in a Republican being unseated. The Democrat-controlled House took the first steps last week of adjudicating a contested House seat that may result in a Republican lawmaker being replaced by her Democratic challenger. Representative Marionette Miller Meeks was declared the winner of Iowa's 2nd congressional district over a Democratic challenger, Rita Hart, last November by just 6 votes. After Iowa certified Miller Meeks' win, Hart appealed to the House by filing a notice of contest. Hart's campaign alleged that Miller Meeks' campaign has sought to keep legitimate votes from being counted. Is she going to be banned from Twitter for that? I wonder. You can't do that. That's not allowed in American politics. You're not allowed to contest votes at all. Holy shit. And let's see, she, and pushing to disqualify and limit the number of Iowans whose votes are counted, the Iowa City Press Citizen reported. Is she trying to do voter suppression? Hart claims there are 22 legally cast uncounted votes from her election. And, of course, she alleges that if those votes are counted, she would be the rightful winner of the contest. The House Administration Committee gathered last Friday to establish the process by which Hart's claims could be adjudicated. Politico reported that the Friday meeting was a brief. Members unanimously agreed to a resolution that establishes procedures the committee would abide by as it considers recent elections contested in the act. Now, this is interesting. How is that legal? How is it if the state of Iowa, the people, this person is been elected to represent are probably the only people who could do that. Wow. Politico has more. The House Administration Committee gathered virtually Friday afternoon to finalize the process by which it will adjudicate Hart's claim, which was filed under the Federal Contested Elections Act. The committee has been largely silent since Hart first made her contest in December, but the hearing suggests that it is preparing to review the matter further. In question is the outcome of just one district, but Democrats hold only a 5-seat majority in the House, making even a small change in numbers significant. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. I wish I had a "that's bullshit" button. That's messed up. Anyway, all right, moving on because I got to get out of here. Other articles that are there, Biden says, aide says pandemic, which has ravaged the nation, was the best thing that ever happened to Joe Biden. This gets a wow. Joe Biden's senior advisor, Anita Dunn. Do you remember that name? I'm trying to remember why. What is Anita Dunn famous for? She was in some scandal that she was famous for. Anyway, she said that the coronavirus was the best thing that ever happened to Joe Biden, alluding to the impact of the pandemic on the voting public. Yeah, the remark will appear in Lucky How Joe Biden Barely Won the Presidency by Jonathan Allen and Arnie Parnes, which will hit the bookstores on March 2nd. It's the first major book released on the 2020 presidential contest. Yeah, that's not something you want associated with your name, but the rest of the article's there. Also, after a year, there is zero evidence. This is another article in, this is called Behind the Black. It's a kind of a blog, but this is the one where I get most of the latest canceled people. Hang on a second here. We'll fit it in. After a year, there is zero evidence government's edicts slowed the spread of COVID-19. Oh, really? Oh. It was never about the virus. After a year of job-destroying lockdowns and the inhuman muzzling of every citizen in a panicked effort to slow the spread of COVID-19, a careful review of the data continues to show what was obvious as early as September 2020. Those authoritarian government edicts did nothing to stop or even slow the spread of the coronavirus. I'll let you read the rest, but it gives a compelling case for that. Also, this was interesting. This is okay. We'll watch this and then we got to go. This is a news person actually taking a congressperson to task for this BS, $1.9 trillion stimulus bill. She's inciting violence. Oh, wow. Poppy Harlow, who will probably not have a job much longer, took this guy to task, and good for her.
I got to ask you about some other stuff in this bill, because you've got folks like Asa Hutchinson, the governor of Arkansas, saying it's got to be more narrow. He talks about aid in there for arts programs, peace programs, et cetera. But then specifically, there's something in your state, here in New York, there's $1.5 million of funding toward the international bridge between New York and Canada.
Yeah, what
bridge,
is it? Oh,
and then
hey,
right around San Francisco in the Bay Area,
whoa, Poppy. You know that bridge in New York is going to create 2.4 million jobs for Americans across the country who produce steel and concrete and moral support for that bridge. Okay? So why are you even asking the poor congressman this very silly question, right?
$100 million to fund the San Francisco Bay Area Rapid Transit, or BART.
Oh, but BART carries workers everywhere, like in California, everywhere. Yeah.
I mean, Steve Scalise, your Republican colleague, said, who said a subway to Silicon Valley has anything to do with COVID? Are you comfortable?
Because they have to sanitize that subway to protect the passengers from COVID. And it takes workers everywhere in California.
But with those in here?
Look, a lot of people will get into this got you attitude about this provision. This budget.
Gotcha. It's there. It's like right here. I actually went back and read it.
I'm not saying you're doing that. I'm saying that in any bill that has $1.9 trillion, there will be one line that will probably be somewhat embarrassing, right?
One line. The only line that never mind. I was gonna make a cocaine joke, but I don't do that.
Poppy, but I tell you what,
this is it's embarrassing, and that's $101.5 million of taxpayer money. And I'm just saying, are you comfortable with it?
The answer, no, I'm not comfortable with it. I'm never comfortable with it. But I tell you what, I'm comfortable.
Why are you voting for it?
I'm comfortable with the fact that the PASS initiatives came from the Senate, and we had to adjust to them. This is the first time we have a vision that comes.
We didn't do nothing. No, we didn't do nothing. It came from the Senate.
From us, from the House. And it's a robust vision. I think that the American people
it's
in the country is
robust.
hurting.
Robust or rotund? Which is it, Congressman?
$1.9 trillion will get us back on the right track.
$1.9 trillion that you just the printers go brr.
So let's talk about
no, let's
stimulus
not talk
$1.9
about it.
trillion.
Stop. Oh, that's another one. Oh, she did it again. Anyway, good lad. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Yeah, funding for a new international bridge between New York and Canada. Yes, it's going to stimulate tourism from Canada to New York. You know, so we got to pay for bridges when we got to pay for them. And when it's part of the stimulus relief, we can just write checks and just send them on their way. So that's what we're going to do. And that's what we're going to do. All right. The last couple articles that on the tabs. One, former Border Patrol chief says Biden is lying about the child detention facilities. We already knew that. And let's see this one here. By the way, we talked about how Andrew Cuomo has some problems, with the old that sexual harassment thing. We read pretty much the whole letter yesterday. Well, apparently the legacy media or the Mockingbird media or the mainstream media or the left Democratic mouthpiece complex through the airwaves seem to think that story is probably just not all that important. See, with Cuomo's political future imploding, the legacy media is looking the other way. Lindsey Boylan, former aide of Governor Andrew Cuomo, came forward with allegations of sexual assault against the governor on Wednesday, repeating claims she had made in December. The fallout from Cuomo's COVID-19 nursing home scandal and his alleged attempts to blackmail fellow Democrats into silence have perhaps given Boylan's accusations more weight and definitely given her more courage. While the legacy media has begrudgingly covered the Cuomo scandal, many outlets ignored these sexual assault claims on Wednesday and only perfunctorily mentioned them on Thursday. The three broadcast networks, ABC, CBS, and NBC, did not even mention Boyle's accusations on Wednesday night, Newsbusters reported. The networks also refused to cover the news that New Yorkers who lost their family members to COVID-19 due to Cuomo's nursing home order rallied on Wednesday, demanding an investigation into the scandal. Did you hear about that rally? I did. Of course. Similarly, the prime time news shows on CNN and MSNBC did not even mention the sexual assault scandal. Of course, the evil network, Fox News, found the time to give these explosive allegations the coverage they deserve. But conservatives don't take sexual assault seriously or something. MSNBC and CNN did mention the scandal on Thursday. To his credit, MSNBC's Chuck Todd devoted a full 7 minutes to the scandal on Thursday afternoon. Over on CNN, the Cuomo sexual assault allegations received a grand total of 41 seconds on Inside Politics with John King. You mean his brother didn't report on this? Oh, wait, he's not allowed to report on it anymore. Silly effing me. All right. And that's all the tabs today. Guys, it's definitely that time. Oh, no. The current video is interlaced, but interlaced video is not supported. What the hell does that mean? Okay, I don't know. Anyway, guys, I gotta go. Thanks for being here. It's Friday, so I probably won't stream tomorrow because, on the weekends I tend not to. Plus, I got a lot going on. I got a basketball game. Lady Boomer and I are going out for our anniversary, and I have a video to edit. So I probably won't live stream, but I'll be back on Monday because I'm here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central for the Morning Night Live. And if you like the show, before you click a button, click the like button. And if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, click the bell, share the stream. If you're watching on replay, hit the comment section. If you're not watching on replay, hit the comment section. And about 2 minutes after the show, I'll have all the news links from the stories up on the stream description down below. So, everybody, I gotta tell you, love you. Thank you so much for being here. I gotta go. My name's PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.